What'd he say?
Combine them
He said he's
Kyle
great. Uh-oh.
and combine them with our team.
I'm sorry. Oh, we're live? I'm sorry. That was that's what the owner was saying. I just want to take the. Sorry about that.
Chase, it's on you. Do you agree that he's a top 10 quarterback? He's great, Brock Purdy.
This is a very interesting and elevated conversation that we not only are going to have right now, but we had a very spirited conversation in our pregame meeting. Yes, I do. I agree that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. And when you look at top 10 quarterbacks, I just want to just purely, for right now, before I get into this graphic, I want to show you. The top 10 quarterbacks in the league are the top 31% of the quarterbacks in the league. So Brock Purdy, in my opinion, is in the top 31% of quarterbacks in the league. Let's show the graphic. So I did tiers. This is not in order. We wanted faces up there, okay? Ooh. So tier one. Tier one to me is like, you can put the team on your back time and time again. You are a truly elite talent thrower of the football. We can all agree these four guys, at least I think we can agree. We don't agree on much these days.
That is true.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson are in the tier by themselves. I was struggling maybe Matthew Stafford, but this is what I
on that top tier.
Probably agree.
What about that? What about that Jalen?
No.
Oh, what about Jaden?
You're messing up my take.
Okay.
So you're messing up my take. So those four, and maybe Stafford, right? But I just said those four right now are without a doubt, in most people's and GM's opinion, that's the tier one. And then here, I have 12 total. So we're talking top 10. For me, you look at the next tier. This is not in order. Do not freak out. I want to make sure we understand this. Shady, especially you. Okay, Herbert, Stafford, Goff. I do believe Jaden Daniels is in that next tier, okay? Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, C.J. Stroud. Now, when you're looking at those second tier of guys, is it glaringly obvious that Purdy doesn't belong with that group of guys? Like, glaringly from just looking at this, does he not belong in that category to you guys?
A couple dudes missing over there.
Yeah.
No, not to me.
It's not
glaring.
Not glaring, right? And I think for me, to get this list down to a top 10, it's like, okay, where does Purdy fit in that area? To me, I think I'm taking out Dak, and I think I'm taking out C.J. Stroud, right? And I think you can slide Purdy into that. Now, let me just get to the whole point of why I think that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. Okay, QBs, and this is what everyone up here is going to say because I'm already ready for it. QBs are supposed to run the system of the head coach. People think, and a lot of people out there think, that labeling quarterbacks as a system quarterback is bad. Every head coach I have been with that is going to go into the Hall of Fame, Andy Reid and Sean Payton, okay, played with them, been in their quarterback meetings. They want their quarterbacks to be system quarterbacks. You have to be really good at running the system at which it's deployed. And I think that's what Brock Purdy is good at. I don't think there's, can Brock lead this team to that? No, Brock is on the San Francisco 49ers for a reason, and they picked Brock Purdy above their number 3 pick in Trey Lance to run it. They're going to pay him close to $55 million a year. So if it really means you run the system and you run it really well, to me, that's what matters. He runs it at a really high level, and quite honestly, he's still got to go out there and make the throws that he needs to make day in and day out.
You on the left side? You on the left side of the table? Left side of the table. I'm being respectful. Hey, real quick before we go, can Scouts honor? Can we all, because you already went, us three, can we all say we're going to be honest here?
Yeah. Is it right here?
Yeah, yes, I will. Scouts honor. Well, you already went.
Is this Mockingjay?
I don't know what that is. Well, do you all agree to be honest?
Honest.
Okay.
I hereby agree to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Me too. Okay.
Your
Go
truth.
ahead, James.
Your truth.
Go ahead, James. Hey, great
Your
take.
truth.
All right,
Great
so
take. Great take.
there is absolutely nothing against Brock Purdy up here.
At all.
We all believe Brock Purdy's a good quarterback in the National Football League. Now, if this was top 10 quarterback combined with everything you have, I would say Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback, combined with everything you have, the coach, everything around you and all that. But you guys help me here, all right? Because when I do special players, elite players, top 10 players and all that, I go off of what if this dude was on the worst team in football?
Ooh.
If Brock Purdy was on the worst team in football, is it 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League that you will take over Brock Purdy? My answer is yes. And you didn't have the Jordan Loves up there. You didn't have a lot of good quarterbacks up there that I believe that I would take over Brock Purdy if my team was terrible. Now, if you're talking about a dude in a system, running a system to perfection, that is the Jimmy G's and that is the Brock Purdy's. And I'm sure Jimmy G wouldn't be on none of y'all's list up there, but Jimmy G has been to the Super Bowl.
Yes, he has.
Jimmy G has been to NFC Championship because what the owner just said, combined with Cal Shanahan, combined with everything they had over there. So it's nothing against Purdy, but when you ask me top 10 quarterback, I go off of if you're on the worst team. And we always talk about 7th round draft pick and all that type of stuff. I don't really care nothing about that. But the main thing I do care about is every coach got to see this dude in pads and a helmet, and every coach got to see this dude in shorts and shirts, throw the football, run, look the way he's supposed to look. And we say this draft class week, oh, Brock Purdy's draft class, oh, my God. I mean, the top quarterback was Kenny Pickett.
No way.
Then it was Desmond Ritter, Malik Willis, Matt Carroll, Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, Skylar Thompson. Oh, my God.
God, it's good. God, it's so good. He blessed the boys. Oh, my
and
God.
they picked him the last quarterback out of all them dudes, which let me know talent-wise it don't scream off at you. Throwing the football don't scream off at you. Has he been blessed? Has he gotten better? Absolutely. He's turned into a really good player because of coach, system, and players around him. But top 10 to me, once again, I will say, is if you are on the worst team in football, are you taking Brock Purdy ahead of 10 quarterbacks? You're probably not.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that was a great take. Everything I wanted to say, you said it perfectly. And you did the Scots out. It was honest.
Real quick before you go, so it was.
We gotta chase. Home, we gotta go chase.
I don't know where
because you had Jordan
gotta
Love.
go, man.
You added Jordan Love to this.
Just I'm
So it's
Jordan Love's definitely.
So Brock Purdy's top 13. Okay, so 3.
Yeah, well, top 10. He's not the so the answer is no. He's not the top 10.
Semantics.
I'm gonna say no as well. But the first thing you said I did like, you said we all love
No question.
Brock Purdy on the show. And real quick for all the viewers out there, right? Because I think I'd be hating on some players, and I don't. You could be a really, really good player and not be elite. You could be a really good player and not be top 10.
That is
There's
true
nothing
facts.
wrong with that. There's more players that's not top 10 in their position than there is. You get what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's get to it, though. So everything James said, I'm going to add this a little more because that was great. But when I look at Brock Purdy, so I went all the way back to college, though, because I had to get this thing right because I know Chase was going to come support this brother. So I had to really come prepared. And I started looking like, do you ever remember, like, you ever like see like players in college that have all these great stats, all these great passing yards, all these great rushing touch, all this great stuff? And then the guys like Hawaii quarterbacks, the guys like, I won't get into the Tebow's number, but a lot of guys that put a lot of stats up, the Texas Tech.
Quarterbacks, all them.
All the guys, and then why they never get drafted or they 7th round draft picks? Because their talent is not like that, okay? So that's one part. So Brock Purdy, to me, I don't think he's super talented. That's why he went so late in the draft, last pick in the draft, okay? But then he comes to the Niners.
Yeah.
And he proved a lot of people wrong. Like, I'm better than what you thought I was. Maybe I'm not as talented, but I am better than what you thought I was. Something the owner just said, though. He said, Brock's a top 10 quarterback, you know, and we like him. But when you combine him with Kyle Shanahan and you combine him with the team, he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't mind that take.
Don't mind that at all.
I don't mind it because now you adding the coach and you adding the player and all
No
that.
doubt.
And then when I look at Brock Purdy, that makes sense because when I look at the stats, in 2022, he had 7 All-Pros. In 2023, he had 7 All-Pros. And he was 13-4, 12-5. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. Makes sense. In 2024, he had 3 All-Pros. No playoffs, no NFC Championship game, no Super Bowl. 6-11. Oh, it makes sense. A guy that's not as talented that went the last pick in the draft because of his talent, right? Goes to a good team, but you combine him with a really good coach. You combine him with all pros, they win games. So when you talk about top 10, I look at top 10 as super elite talent or you're a winner that wins Super Bowls. Brock Purdy does not fit in that category. He doesn't, right? And when we talk about elite guys, I could drop you anywhere on this planet, anywhere on any team, and you're going to produce. I can't say that because when I watched Brock Purdy, because I thought already that most people thought, he has to be around a good supporting cast. When you take that supporting cast from around him, what does he give you? He gave you 6-11, no playoffs.
Yeah.
So when you talk about putting a guy top 10 and paying that type of money, that's why the issue's having it, though. The issue with him is you want to get paid top 3 money and you not really top 3, top 4, top 5.
So you said he's not a super elite winner, right? He was 17-4 his first 2 years, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. How can you say
just
that?
said
Just because one,
Hold up.
Just because 1 year?
What I said to you was, I said, when you talk about...
your top 10.
When you talk... you said, was I top 10?
No, in your top 10.
Oof. What I'm saying is, for you to be considered a winner, we talking about winning some games. That's cute. We win Super Bowls. Either you win a Super Bowl because you're a winner, or you elite of the elite talent. And I feel like he don't fit nowhere in them categories. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay.
1,000%.
Okay. All right.
I think Brock Purdy's top 10. What I love about this conversation is it's simple, right? I'm not going to get all emotional because I just listen. I listen.
Absolutely.
Shady said top 10 for him is a super elite talent or that you win Super Bowls, close quote. Brock Purdy don't fit in that.
Yeah.
James Jones said for him, when I do quarterbacks, I go off when he's on the worst team in football, does he make them better? Would he make them better? Brock Purdy don't fit into that. That's not how I do top 10. I do top 10 in the system you are in. Let's remove the hypothetical. How well do you run in the system that you are in? For me to do top 10 based off James's, that's doing it hypothetically. Hey, if I put you on some arbitrary team with some arbitrary coach and an arbitrary roster, how would you arbitrarily play? I don't know. I know how Brock Purdy plays in the system that he's in. Shady's isn't as hypothetical, but Brock Purdy does not fit in the Shady's. But I won't discredit how Shady contrives his top 10. There's no Webster dictionary of, hey, top 10 quarterbacks definition. But how I do it is based on the system you're in and the
Oh, no.
coach that's
I gotta get it.
How do you run your
You're
system?
gonna make me lose.
Now, there's a reason why Jed York said what he said. Because Jed York probably agrees with 2.5. Like, you don't have to add Kyle Shanahan and add anybody else if you're just talking about the quarterback's talent alone.
Now.
So there's a reason Jed York said what he said. But how I do my top 10 is different than how they do their top 10. I respect how they do their top 10. Right. I just don't agree.
So I'll be quick, James, because I don't want to get at him. Because so you said what the owner said. Because I was about to say, this ain't my word. The owner said combine them guys. But real quick, you said something about the system, right? You said something about the system.
Yeah.
So
Run the system.
you played under some great coaches. Sean Payton, and Andy Reid. Andy Reid's the best. I played for Andy Reid. And I seen the difference between system quarterbacks and top 10 legit quarterbacks. So Kevin Cobb, we got rid of Don McNabb and Kevin Cobb.
Paid him some money.
Andy Reid's system is the West Coast offense, right? A lot of short game, but some deep balls in there, but in the medium. But it's like we're not just trying to throw the ball deep like that. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be precise, run the ball a little bit, precise some screens, be accurate, short passes. Well, that's what the system is. When you get a legit top 10 type quarterback, when we had Don McNabb and the Michael Vicks, now we taking shots deep. I'm like, oh. Since I've been as a rookie, I've been studying the West Coast offense, Andy, your system. And your system is precise passes, short, little passes and all that. Because you had an elite quarterback. And not the same thing wrong with Kevin Cobb, but he wasn't elite. You get what I'm saying? He was a system guy. Now, if Kevin Cobb had all these great players around him, maybe, because he had some good stats too, though. That's why people want to draft. That's why people want to trade for Kevin Cobb, because he had great players around him. So he looked good in that system. But when you got somebody like a Patrick Mahomes, Michael Vicks, and Don McNabb, we throwing the ball all across the field. Because they're not system guys. I think about when we talk about Brock Purdy, we look at the success he's doing in that system. I always think about, two more things. One is, if I had a great player in this system, what's it look like? Now, Matt Ryan's probably better than Brock Purdy, right?
Of course.
In the system with Kyle Shanahan, what did he do?
MVP.
MVP. You get what I'm saying? Jimmy G, I think he's got awful. He took that team to the championship game in a Super Bowl under Kyle Shanahan. Imagine when you get a top 10 quarterback, what it looks like. And the last part with Brock Purdy is, just because we don't think that he's a legit top 10 dude, don't mean he's not a good player.
Nobody's saying
he's a good player. But when we start talking about as players in the NFL, we are alphas. We compete. That's what we do. Since we've been in high school, I'm better than this kid across the street, and then you get to college and we compete. If you're competing with other quarterbacks, you're a defensive player, and you say, all right, am I going against Brock Purdy or am I going against the 49ers team? Am I going against Brock Purdy? If I'm going against Josh Allen or I'm going against the Bills, like it's a different layer when we start talking about quarterbacks. A dude like Jordan Love might not get the same hype as Purdy, but there's 32 teams would love to take Jordan Love.
They did.
Before they take Brock Purdy.
They did. Really quick, because system quarterbacks, because that's what you and Chase continue to go back to. He runs his system really, really well. That makes him top 10. You're blessed to be in the system. I agree. Run your system how it's supposed to be ran. How many years do you need to run that system to be in the top 10? Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 2? How many?
He was 17-4 in his first 2 years with a championship game appearance and a Super Bowl appearance.
So, but how many years do you got to be in the system to be able to get into a top 10 conversation? Because Jimmy G ran that system very well and went to an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. And nobody
It didn't look the same.
will put him in the top 10, Acho, because of system, quarterback, and players. You still wouldn't put him in the top 10, right? Why is it a question right now when we say Brock Purdy's contract is up and we can pay him right now, the window is open? Why is people saying why?
They know
and
why.
how much?
They know why.
Why didn't people say why and how much with Herbert? Why and how much with Love? Why are we saying that? Because you guys don't want to believe in the facts that he is not an elite quarterback. He is on an elite team, and he runs the system well. There's nothing against that. I hope the boy gets $69 million because I'm for the players. But at the same time, we're asking him questions because he's really not that dude. He's not. He has a really good system and a really good team. Alex Smith got with Andy Reid, and he played really well, and they won a lot of games and changed around the Kansas City Chiefs. Was he top 10? Sam Darnold had a dominant year last year in a phenomenal system.
Yes, he did.
With really good players around him and a really good team. Is he top 10? So all I'm saying is Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but when you start talking top 10, let's not forget all the other stuff to why he was a 7th-round pick.
Tell your wife you cooking dinner tonight. Wife, you cooking dinner tonight.
Ordering. Why these other quarterbacks are top 10?
That's a good point.
I'm saying.
That's a great point.
I think when we talk about elite quarterbacks, for me, there's 4 to 5. Like I can't pour that second tier other than Stafford in elite quarterbacks. Like you're saying,
We're talking
elite.
top 10.
Yeah, but it's only the top 31%, James. And you would even say I just don't know how you can say and sit here if they're not running the system. I mean, you want to compare him to Jimmy G on the field and on the film. It looks way different. Way different.
But
it's
the
not
results are the same.
It doesn't matter. You're the biggest thing about how it looks. You're the biggest thing on how it looks.
I'm listening to you.
It looks way different. The way he throws the football in the intermediate throws, he runs Kyle Shanahan's system the best out of any quarterback that Kyle Shanahan's ever had, and it's not even close. That's why they're about to pay him the top 3 quarterback money.
Chase.
You know what I mean?
So you see how you can sit up here and say Brock Purdy's easily better than Jimmy G? Why? Because he throws the ball better. Because he does. That's what we telling y'all.
That's what we saying.
Different.
Can I say that, Chase?
That's what we're
Oh, you
telling you.
why did you put Jimmy G in the top 10 quarterbacks?
If he ran it differently, right, like you're saying, well, because I think Brock Purdy averaged about 27 points a game. That's pretty good, though. What you think Jimmy G averaged a game?
Eye test, Shady. Eye test.
What you think Jimmy G? 20.7 a game? 27 points a game. They're the same.
Yeah.
And they say
No, they are not.
but you say it look different, right?
disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. If you
That's
put it, but if you put an elite quarterback over there, it's gonna look different.
But you know what's disrespectful, Chase? Because the eye test showed that Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Carroll, Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell,
When does it matter when you get drafted if you're going to have good success?
That matters.
No, it doesn't.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.